guys, welcome back to the channel. Meet Praneeth. In today's video, as you might have already seen the title or the thumbnail, we are going to talk about EB2 India and will EB2 India progress in this fiscal year. So if you want to know the answer, watch the video till the very end. So let's discuss if there's any possibility for EB2 India to progress, and if yes, by how much will it progress? To calculate that, let's talk about some numbers. So in general, if it's a normal 2019 year or 2016 year, if we calculate, uscis generally gives out 140,000 green cards for employment-based category. Now, as there are 5 countries and the rest of the countries are termed as RO or rest of the world, let's calculate how many green cards are given to EB2 RO or rest of the world. So EB1, EB2 and EB3 gets 28.6% of 140,000. So that means each category would get 40,040 green cards. Now out of that, because there are 5 countries and each country gets 7%, so that means India gets 4,004 out of it, China gets 4,004, and similarly El Salvador, Mexico and Philippines gets 4,004. But the rest of the 26,000 or 65% goes to EB2 row, and that is a big number. And generally the demand of EB2 in EB2 row is not very high, and that's why it remains generally current, and there is a spillover that goes from that category to EB2 India, because EB2 India is the most retrogressed category. But what exactly happened that EB2 row got retrogressed? So from my point of view, I think what happened is in 2022, most of the spillovers or extra green cards were given to the most retrogressed countries, which is in this case is India EB2 and EB3. Now that helped progress some of the dates. But what happened is during the fiscal year 2022, there was also a very high demand for EB2 row. And that's why uscis had to set a final action date, because they seem to think that there are more people in line than the number of green cards available. So if we go back and if we come back to the present, and if we talk about the number of green cards available in 2023, that comes to 200,000. So if we do a calculation, it comes down to 57,200 green cards for EB1, similar number for EB2, and same number for EB3. Now, out of those 7%, that comes to 4,004 goes to India, China, and El Salvador, and Mexico, and so on. And rest, that is 37,000. That is 65% of 57,000 goes to EB2 row. So that means this time, when compared to general, you have at least 11,000 to 12,000 green cards in surplus. And if we do a rough calculation, it seems that if there were, let's say in general, 26,000 green cards, and if there's some kind of retrogression going on in EB2 row, so if you divide 26,000 by 12, that comes to somewhere around 2,100 green cards. So that means if the final action date is November 2022, that means around 6,500 people are waiting for the green cards. And this year we have 11,000 surplus, right, in EB2 row. So I think EB2 row would definitely become current in this fiscal year of 2023. However, the chances of spillover from EB2 row to EB2 India is very, very minimal. From my perspective, there would be very, very small movement in EB2 India, if possible. And that would only happen at the very end of the year or the third quarter. That means around June or July. I don't think we will see any big movement in EB2 India. And in terms of EB1, which is also retrogressed, I think there would be some movement, but not much. The reason why EB1 could move, because there is a spillover that comes from EB4 and EB5, which directly goes to EB1. And that EB1 spillover also comes to EB2, which is not going to happen in this case, because EB1 is retrogressed by almost 10 months. So I would think that in the coming months and the coming visa bulletins, we would see some movement in EB1, and also EB2 row should become current by the end of the cycle, and slight movement in EB2 India, but not a very huge movement. The most it can happen might come to 2012, Jan, Feb, or somewhere around that month, but not more than that. Now, this is definitely a sad news, and this is just my prediction. It can change, and I hope it progresses way further than what I'm predicting. But it's just based on some math and some calculations that I'm doing. It could be completely wrong. So don't just go by my word. let's hear and let's see what USCIS brings to the table, what it says in the March VISA Bulletin and so on. My understanding is that any movement that we will see will only be able to see probably around the April or probably after May or June VISA Bulletin, not before that. So things that I wanted to say after this video or after this calculation is, if you're in EB2 India, that doesn't mean that you'll not get your green card. You'll get your green card. It's just that it's gonna take a long time. And I think this is the right opportunity, because if you have your I-140 approved in EB2, this is the right opportunity for you to dig EB1, see what criteria are there and how you can get into those criteria. I have made several videos on the platform where I have told and I have provided information and evidence of how people in EB2 with master's degree can qualify for EB1. It's not difficult. It will definitely take a lot of hard work, a lot of planning, a lot of patience and resilience, but it will happen. So if you have any questions, sometimes there would be definitely a profile which would not fit in EB1, and that doesn't mean that it's your mistake. It's just that your work doesn't align with EB1 category. But do check out the videos I have made. Some other people are also making on videos on EB1. Check those content out. See how you can mold your profile in EB1, and that could be the best bet with the current immigration system. However, so just to give a quick glimpse or recap of what I was talking in this video is, I see that there is some surplus amount in EB2 row, which will definitely help. Around 11,000, 12,000 green cards would be extra this year in EB2 row, and that should help with the retrogression in EB2 row. However, there would not be any spillover or very slight spillover from EB2 row to EB2 India, and that means that there might not be any big movement in EB2 India. Might be slight movements, and it might happen that from 2011 it might come to 2012, but I would not see anything going further than that. For EB1, I think because EB4 and EB5 gets the spillover from those categories come to EB1, I would definitely see, or at the end of this fiscal year, there's some movement in EB1, probably a little before that as well. But it will not become current, that's for sure, because it's a 10-month retrogression. So cover 10-month retrogression will take some time. But I think it will be some movement you'll start to see in EB1 as well. So this was the video. I hope you find this video very useful. And the tips and tricks that I would tell is, look at the other videos I've made. I'll put some descriptions, some links in the description. Do check those videos out that I have made. Write down a list of criteria where you think you have evidence. It could be just one criteria, but that's a start. You have to go for that criteria. You have to find out what else you can do to make your profile stronger. And that profile work on your profile would not just make you professionally strong, but also might help you qualify for EB1 category. So this was it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, feel free to message me on LinkedIn, connect with me on LinkedIn. I know there are a lot of people who are waiting for my response. It's just that the work is being really a lot these days, and there are so many things going on. But I will try. I just moved to Boston, so still settling down the place, settling down the new apartment. But I will definitely get back to all of you who are waiting for my response. Please, I'm really sorry if we have been waiting for a long time, but I will definitely get back to you. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I wish you all the very best and a happy weekend. And I'll see you in the next video very, very soon. Till then.